talking governance in the period before elections. What is the role of stakeholders? That is the topic under discussion on the program this evening. And I do have a governance activist in the studio. His name is Erasmus Chendela Mukondo. Mr. Mukondo, good evening. You're welcome to Talk at 6.
Good evening, and good evening to our viewers and listeners out there.
All right, and so we want to talk about governance in the period just before elections and the role of stakeholders in ensuring that peace is maintained, coexistence is maintained, so that we have a credible election and, all those things to do with governance. It's all smooth. And so from where we are today, how do you look at the, efforts or participation of various stakeholders towards these governance matters in relation to the topic under discussion?
I can just say so far so good, because as we stand today, the Electoral Commission has set the ball rolling, and they have informed all the players in the political field that the game is on, and that is on the 12th of August and 2021. And that on its own, it tells everyone, especially the president of all political parties, that they need to start preparing themselves toward that important event that only happens once. So basically, where we stand, it's important that each party, it sets their party machinery into mobilization. That is in line with our Republican Constitution, which demands that every political party shall first be subjected to intra-party elections, and from there, that's when now they can come to the general populace to seek for that important role that the current government is providing.
And of course, even in elections and governance, there are different stakeholders involved. First, there's the voters, and these voters, they are in groups. There's women, there's disabled people, there's youths, there's men, and different groups of people, basically speaking, and all of them are voters. Then we also have CSOs, we have political parties, we have activists, or should I say analysts like yourselves out there, yes. What is the role of all these different, let's begin first of all maybe with political parties, the major players, if there's anything like major players.
Yes, the major players, they are all the political parties, and I think in Zambia we could be almost over 50 now registered political parties. And each political party, I think they have their secretary generals. And these political secretary generals, they are supposed to make sure that they have the registers. And in these registers, you have talked about the youths, the women, and then also the old and the young. They must be accommodated, so that at the end of the day, proper governance should be accommodative of all ages. And it should not only be siding with the odd, but we should make sure that even among the youths, women, they should also be empowered to positions of leadership. And this is where we start from in governance. It's basically at this time that individuals, those who are aspiring to participate in 2021, especially the women, they should start organizing themselves now, start aligning themselves with the political parties. And those who think they have the muscle to participate on their own, they can start mobilizing themselves, and then also making themselves very close to the communities. Because when it comes to politics, you cannot just wake from slumber and then say, I want to be an MP. You are not making women to be MPs or ministers. This is the right time that they should participate as we get towards the coming elections.
Let's talk about...
So basically, it's cardinal and important to state to everyone out there, if you are really aspire to participate in our democracy, and our democracy, as you might not know, as you might want to know, it's still young. It's a young democracy.
It's still emerging.
It's still emerging, yes. And this is the reason why you find that youths would say, no, Bakuru, Watudira Masukupamutu, they have been only be accommodating us to be stone throwers, to be only there to support them, to dance for them. For the women also, they will be complaining that the only role that these old men are giving us, that role of dancing at the airport, dancing at these rallies. But this time around, I think this is the same time that everyone should wake up and realize that this is the only time that we can build ourselves. And as we build ourselves, we are building our communities democratically. So it's paramount that everyone get involved at this initial stage.
Let's talk about peace and coexistence.
Yes.
Maintaining peace and coexistence. This becomes a very core subject, especially in relation to elections. Just how should political parties behave to ensure that this is maintained?
Yes, as I was saying, as we mobilize ourselves as political parties, we make sure that the governance involves these voters, and you tabulated that they are youths, the women, the old and the young. So basically, as we get towards this election,
so
you find that this
accommodating everyone is key.
It's very key. It's very key
for political parties.
Yes, that's the first point when we're talking about peace itself, and then also letting everyone to participate. And when it comes to violence, mainly you will find that the people who are mentioned in the violence, it's the youths. The youths, they are the one who are mentioned. But it's paramount and very important that we say that we must let also our women participate. Where women are involved, you don't expect violence to be perpetuated. And our women, since inception, from the day we won our independence, they have participated in a very peaceful manner, and we have never had any, can I say, revolution or something to say that they have been complaining that they have been left out. But when it comes to peace, it is at this stage that we should make sure that we let everyone get involved. And you talked about the SSOs and then also the NGOs and then others, analysts. This is the best time they should also get to the detail. They get to detail each political party, and then also they start offering constructive criticism, so that we do not only come up or start appearing when you have 6 months or 3 months before the actual election comes. Because some of these organizations, if you see how they come to participate, maybe 3 months or 4 months, they would want to thrive on information, critical information that will be providing, maybe just to speculate or to say this is the party that will be leading, this is the party which is behind, this is the party which will be like that. Others, they just come on monetary level to just make sure that they just want to benefit. But if you are truly a Zambian and you would want to see to it that our democracy, this young democracy is developed, we need everyone to come on board, so that at the end of the day we have a well-leveled platform for every Zambian. So it's cardinal that at this time the strategic partners, especially the church, they should get to analyze these issues spiritually and then also physically, so that at the end of the day they will be able to advise where we are going. So basically, without spiritual guidance, we are dead. We are a dead nation. But we are Christ, as we have already said, that we are a Christian nation. It's important that those values, as embedded in our 7th National Development Plan, and then as the way the president all the time comes out to talk about these national values, we make sure that we continue being the beacon of peace. So even to build on the words that the president was talking about early this month, I think he talked about peace in Mazabuka, somewhere there in Southern Province, and then he said he does not condone violence. So when you're talking about peace, we need all the stakeholders to come forth, especially these big political parties, although who don't want to use the name, those major players, but all the players that they should come out and condemn violence, and then also make sure that we continue coexisting.
All right. I just want, I feel we should speak more about the role of political parties, because we see in most cases they are the ones that influence the general population, you know, to behave in a certain way. The influencers within the political parties. And so within political parties, there is what is known as manifestos or ideologies of these political parties, which sometimes I tend to feel that political parties out there are not really bringing forth, you know, making the citizens, you know, really understand what the ideologies that they stand for are and stuff like that. They just concentrate on maligning each other, concentrate on who said what, and so everybody begins to follow in the same line. Let's talk about just from this perspective. Political parties do have ideologies.
Yes.
Do you think that they are doing enough to make these ideologies prominent with the people?
You know, I would want to pick it up from 2011, before this Patriotic Front was ushered into power. I would want to use the MMD and the Patriotic Front. It was very easy to criticize the MMD because I think parties at that time, they had their ideologies, which they had explained clearly to the people of Zambia. And they had the messages, and people were able to compare between the two. And this is the same reason why today people will be able to criticize the ruling party today. They had talked of more money in people's pockets. They had talked of changing the face of Zambia. And then also, I remember very well, making sure that the taxes were lowered. So if you look in 2011 as compared to today, it's like we have lost it out as the political parties. There is need, especially those who are in opposition, they must have these manifestos be availed to the people of Zambia. So that at the end of the day, the people are participating, especially that we have social media around. People have a message. They will know what they can do. But today you find that there are a lot of just what I can classify as just these childish adages. Somebody will just say, me, I'll do this, me, I'll fix this, the other one will be. This is the reason why at this time we need political parties to come forth and tell the people what is it that they will do which is different from what the current government is doing. Otherwise, without that one, we will get back to where you are saying we will lose the peace, because the messages will just be insulting messages. And with the coming in of social media, this will be very unfortunate. So basically, our appeal is to everyone that both the ruling party and then also the opposition, and in particular the opposition, they are the ones who are fighting to win that power. So for the ruling party, it's very simple. They have a 7th National Development Plan, which is official and which is properly documented, and it's been managed by a ministry. So for the other one who are in opposition, it's important that they should come up with clear manifestos, so that at the end of the day, they will not only be moving with the wind, but they will be consistent in their messages, so that we can avoid what is happening on the ground. Otherwise, it will just be finger pointing. You did this, and as a result, because we do not have the opposition, they are not offering the check and balances, it will get into individualistic politics.
All right, let's take a break for the news headlines and we'll continue with the discussion after that. So this is Talk at 6 on Millennium Radio. On the program today, we're talking governance in the period before elections. What is the role of stakeholders in ensuring that peace and coexistence is maintained at the end of the day. Zambia is an emerging democracy, and so we need to continually remind ourselves of what is the role of the various stakeholders towards maintaining or securing credibility in elections, and even as we go towards that. And so let's take a break, and on the other side of this, we continue with the discussion. At some point, we'll open the phone lines for you to come through and also participate on the program.
Talk at 6 on Millennium Radio is brought to you by Reaper Stock Feed, the Feed Masters.
Bantu bonse pasiyanene apa nichanchishtika wana maliro uyuro bwachi kapita vachiteveta chimzanga ka likanifika siyanene
iye mwainuka bwangu nashipakale pona
siyanene kuli benava wangu apa ni mavuto bantu badandaula kuti yayi nguku tumaweti tuoneka munga ntungunda aya ishu anavutika eni
ya neze kuyopana taa nikamuza soka jimangi asakamba ya ishanene azanipaira nkuku ona chabe kwanga vantu sivasakana kusanga balese ndapofike ona nsaizi
true ndiye saizi yangu kulima chinguku ichi munga nitaki asiyanene between you and me uchita mangwara bwanyi nuzeko nawe fiti tigawanenge mwa vantu
sibu mfiti iwe chuma chilipa nkuku na Reaper Stock Feed.
Reaper?
Yes, Reaper Stock Feed has it all for your broiler chicks. Find us at plot number 20554 Chinika Industrial Area off Mumba Road, Lusaka. In all outlets, look around for Reaper Stock Feed. To find out more, call us on 0953 624050 or 0971 864700. Reaper Stock Feed, the Feed Masters. RDF Auctioneers Limited will be conducting public auction sales on behalf of the government of the Republic of Zambia in the Muchinga province of motor vehicles, plant and equipment, and general stores items. Auction site, date and time. Chama, Saturday 5th September 2020 at 9 hours. Nakonde, Monday 7th September 2020 at 9 hours. Mafinga, Tuesday 8th September 2020 at 9 hours. Isoka, Wednesday 9th September 2020 at 9 hours. Lavushimanda and Chilonga, Thursday 10th September 2020 at 9 hours. Mpika, Friday 11th September 2020 at 9 hours. Chiwangandu, Saturday 12th September 2020 at 9 hours. Chinsali, Monday 14th September 2020 at 9 hours. Tuesday 14th September 2020 at 9 hours. And on Wednesday 16th September 2020 at 9 hours. Viewing weekdays before each public auction sale. Refundable security deposit, cash of 5,000 kwacha for motor vehicles, 500 kwacha for motorbikes and stores items. The deposit is refundable if customer complies with auction terms and conditions. Registration of bidders at respective auction sites for purchase of auction bid forms at 500 kwacha per motor vehicle and 150 kwacha per motorbike and 100 kwacha for stores items beginning Monday 31st August 2020, and payments of the refundable security deposit to RDF Auctioneers Limited. Terms: successful bidders to pay for all won items by cash or bank certified check within 48 hours after close of auction sale. For details, check the Daily Nation newspaper or call us on 0966 220859, 0977 744147 or 0977-711788. Remember, it is the GRZ Public Auction Sales in Muchinga Province by RDF Auctioneers Limited from 5th September to 16th September 2020. RDF Auctioneers Limited, we value your bids.
Red Rock Cola, we love Red Rock Cola, we love Red Rock Cola, it's fun. Red Rock Cola, it's fun. We look so good, we feel so fresh, we feel so fresh. Selfies, boys and shades, boys and shades, blues and red. We love the fun, we love the fun. Sparkle and sun, sparkle and sun. This is love, this is love. There is no doubt, there is no doubt. Red Rock Cola is love at first. Red Rock Cola, love at first.
Iwe ikajimange oyo vanakutyesa vakazi mwamba kutua pamene apa
apa ni chaya tugaga pamozi na kapenta na shida mix kuti nitwe nitiremo na mankwara ya kuli Dr. Chipsoro nipange chicken feed.
Ora una degree ya woodwork witchcraft uzayamba ufiti ukachiri mwana iyo tawanishimo tukwaliva feed reaper stock feed yamene ipezeka kuti usenzesa nkuku zikati zoyamba zapakatikati na kusirizisa konse original feed yamene ipezeka ilibe matenda aliyonse kunkuku zikura bwinobwino ulemera ukachiri mwana
Uniuza
noti ufiti wamene kunoyamba uchaya
nizofuna zitutumike
inde a reaper stock feed ali nazo zonse mungafune ngati musunga nkuku apezeka pa plot number 20554 kuchinika industrial area mukachoka mu msewu wa Mumbwa Road mumalo ogulisilamo ali pafupi ndi inu. Funafunani reaper stock feed. Mwina kuziva zambiri tumanilamya pa 0953-624050 kapena 0971-864700. Reaper stock feed akaswiri muzonse zofunika pa kusunga nkuku.
Good evening. It's 19 hours. This is Millennium Radio with the news headlines.
To present the news headlines, my name is Peterson Lubasi. Energy Minister Matthew Nkuwa says government will soon commission 2 electricity generating units with total capacity of 300 megawatts, which will result in the reduction of load shedding in the country. Police in Lusaka have arrested a 54-year-old man of John Lane compound in connection with the collection of money from 58 people with a view of assisting them to obtain national registration cards. And President Donald Trump has denied accusations that he made disparaging remarks about U.S. soldiers who were captured or killed in the battle. Ends the news headlines.
Tandizani kutetsa matenda ya COVID-19 imirirani pamweka khalani patali ndi anzanu. Chitani izi kuti muziteteze kukalombo ka corona. Okubweretsani uthenga uyu ndi aunduna wa zaumoyo molandira thandizo kuchokera ku ofisi ya United States Agency for International Development USAID kupyolera mu bungwe ya Zambia Community HIV Prevention Project ZCHIP.
Energy of the mind and body is the essence of life. Life decides how you're going to use this energy. Energy that gives you what you need to reach your goal. Goals that help you channel your energy into action. Action that conquers all things. The key that unlocks this energy is desire. Desire to surrender to the energy within. Increase the energy level, because the higher your energy level, the more efficient your body. And the more efficient your body, the more you will use your talent to produce outstanding results.
From the battle of the face comes the battle of the mind. When you don't know who you are, just look deep inside.
Kung Fu Energy Drink. Master the power.
Mommy, tell me the story about Moo the cow.
Okay.
Tucked in? Great. Mumu lived on a beautiful farm with Farmer Jack. One evening, Mumu thought how wonderful it would be if all Farmer Jack's milk tasted like strawberries.
Like real strawberries?
Yes, dear, like real strawberries. The next morning, Mumu...
You missed the part about the shooting star.
She saw a shooting star, and Mumu made a wish. The next morning, Mumu woke up to a glass of the creamiest and thickest milkshake she had ever tasted. And it tasted like...
Strawberries!
It tasted like strawberries, and she called it...
Milk It Milkshake!
That's right, Milk It Milkshake.
Introducing the all-new Milk It Milkshake in strawberry, chocolate, banana, and vanilla.
Good night, my little angel.
Milk It Milkshake, the shake that moves.
Buy and build Real Estate Limited Company. Buy and build real estate. Wako ndiye chape company amene ina mapuloti yochipa. Ero chaka chino ngati sumanga vanga mangeiwe ka kunishita saa. Ero mapuloti yonse yali genuine, noti vaposa. Wamene bafuna ploti kuchunga yaliko. Wamene baifunira kukasupe yaliko. Olo wamene baifuna kukabangwe ni tibiri. Ero yonse mapuloti yali pafupi na manzi, yali pafupi na malaiti, yali pafupi na makiriniki, yali pafupi na maskulu, kunisha zoo, kaini mbali mwa rodi. Katuifunira ku low cost yaliko, ku medium cost yaliko, na ku high cost kose ni mgerekete. Nati viewing, kusionera, ni mahala stili pirisa. Wose wamene wafuna osiba pambiri, ni kutuma chape pali ya manambasi 0971 50 7959 olo 0968 77 37 59. Buy and build Real Estate Limited Company. Abako die akaswiri amaploti kunishita sao na japwa.
We understand that when electricity is restored after load shedding, you want to catch up with life. Do not switch on multiple electrical appliances or equipment at the same time in your home or business setup. Switching on more than one appliance or equipment with high voltage at the same time causes an overload on the electricity grid and may result in the system to trip off and might lead to additional or longer scheduled load shedding hours. Avoid overloading the ZESCO power system, or alternatively, use other power solutions such as solar panels and generators. Switch off or it will trip. ZESCO, powering the nation and the region, a member of the IDC group of companies.
Talk at 6 on Millennium Radio is brought to you by Reaper Stock Feed, the Feed Masters.
Bantu bonse pasiyanene apa. Ni chani chishtika. Wana maliro uyuro bachi. Kapita bachiteweta shimzanga ka. Tekanifi. Siyanene.
Iye mwainuka bwangu nashipagane ponya.
Siyanene kuli benava wangu apa ni mavuto. Bantu badandaura kuti yayi ngugu tumaweti tuneka munga ntungunda. Aya ishwa navutika hivi.
Ya neze kuyopana taa nikamuza soka jimangi asakamba yaisha nene azanipaira nkugu ona chabe kwanga vantu sivasakana kusanga balese ndapofike ona nsaifu
true ndiye size yangu kulima chinguku ichi munga nitaki asiyanene between you and me uchita mangwara bwani nuzeko nawe fiti tigawanenge mwa vantu
sibu mfiti iwe chuma tilipa nkuku na Reaper Stock Feed.
Yes, Reaper Stock Feed has it all for your broiler chicks. Find us at plot number 20554 Chinika Industrial Area off Mumba Road, Lusaka. In all outlets, look around for Reaper Stock Feed. To find out more, call us on 0953 624050 or 0971 86 4700. Reaper Stock Feed, the feed masters.
Bantu bonse pasiyanene apa nichani chichitika wana maliro uyulo bwachi kapita vachiteveta chimzanga ka lekanifi siyanene
inye mwainuka bwangu nashipakale ponya
siyanene kuli benava wangu apa ni mavuto bantu badandaula kuti yayi nguku tumaweti tuoneka munga ntungunda ishwa navutika ivi
ya neze kuyopana taa nikamuza soka jimangi asakamba isyanene azaniphaira nkuku ona chabe kwanga vantu sivasankana kusanka balesenda pefike ona nsaizi
ndiye saizi yangu kulima chinguku ichi munganitaki asiyanene between you and me uchita mangwala bwanyi niuzeko nawe fiti tigawanenge mwa vanhu
sibu mfiti iwe chuma chilipa nkuku na Reaper Stock Feed.
Reaper?
Yes, Reaper Stock Feed has it all for your broiler chicks. Find us at plot number 20554 Chinika Industrial Area off Mumba Road, Lusaka. In all outlets, look around for Reaper Stock Feed. To find out more, call us on 0953 624050 or 0971 864700. Reaper Stock Feed, the feed masters.
All right, welcome back. You are still here on Talk at 6 on Millennium Radio, and the guest is Mr. Chendela Mukondo, who is a governance activist, and we're talking governance in the election, in the period before elections. What is the role of stakeholders in maintaining peace and coexistence, healthy coexistence? And so we continue with our discussion. Just before we went on the break, I think we were talking about emphasizing on the role of the various political parties, because they seem to be the main players in that they influence, yes. You know, the leaders really do influence people at the end of the day. Yes. Let's come to the general, the voters, the citizens themselves. What is their role?
As you rightly said, when you were ending, we said we are in emerging democracy. So for us to continue emerging on this positive path or trajectory, it will mean the voters themselves, the general populace, they must continue participating into it. And they have to make sure that democracy cannot just stand on itself for the way it is by the politicians themselves, but it means everyone out there. Because if you see way back when we came into this plural multi-party democracy, that is to allow all the stakeholders to participate in the development of this nation, we have attained a lot of milestones. First and foremost, our economy, it's back on its legs. It was when we found it in 1991 under one-party state, we had a failed state. So basically, it's because of that particular election and that democracy that happened at that time that we should continue building on. And it is at this stage I wanted also to talk about leaguing. Leaguing undermines democracy if not properly managed. And the people can protect this democracy that we have. It's the voters themselves. If individuals, they participate, let's say the people of Northwestern, they are able to participate, they know that their votes, they are secured. Because their vote determines the pace at which development will happen in their province, at the district level, they have their chairpersons whom they elect, and then at the constituency level, they have the MPs, and then also at the ward level. So basically, it's important as we prepare ourselves to 2021 that everybody participate in this democracy. And we have very good classic examples of people, those who are committed, and the other ones who are not committed. If for instance, I bring the people of Southern Province, they are very good when it comes to participating in a democracy. And when they participate at full-fledged position, you will find that the other one will be criticizing them. You look at the way they vote. They want to make it more look like an embarrassment. But in actual sense, that's what democracy entails. You must fully participate. So the way our friends in Southern Province have been participate, if all the provinces they were committed, we would have a better democracy than what we have at the moment. Because at the end of the day, where you find that people, they will be able to come out and go and cast their votes.
But anyway, people have been voting everywhere, not just Southern Province.
I'm just giving you a good classic example. The other one, it's the Western Province, where you find that the population is very small, but their participation as compared to the people in Osaka, where you find you have 3.4 million. But when you see the people have cast the vote, you find that there will be 700,000 people. Southern Province, there will be 500,000 people. Western Province, there will be about 340. You will find that it's the level of participation. The people in the Northern Bloc, you find that they are idle. So basically, we are encouraging everyone to participate in a democracy. And for every voter who is above 18 years, must be registered, so that we move together as a country, because without individual participation, we'll just be giving excuses and then be on the terraces. But we fought for the democracy that should make sure that every person participate. So when we also coming on the individual level, it's the churches, they also have to play a very critical role in preparing the people, so that at the end of the day, they are not swayed by false prophets who also comes in as the stakeholders. If you look at what is happening in the United States of America, it's very interesting that this malpractices, you find that the system itself, they will say that it was compromised maybe by Russia. This time around, they are also expecting to be compromised maybe by China. So basically, if it can happen at that level, it can also happen here in Zambia. So it's important that as the voters, as the different provinces, we participate into this cake that you have been given, and that is democracy. So as an emerging democracy, good governance can only be attained if all women participate, all youths participate, and participation does not only mean only those names which are already well known or a certain group of people to participate, but it's important that individuals, they identify themselves as leaders. The churches themselves, they can sponsor people to participate through these political parties. So it's important that, and then also we have some other NGOs who also prepare women to make sure that they are equipped, especially that we have a challenge of education where the grade 12 or close comes in. So basically, this is the best time to do that and to make up follow-up for all those people that they have sponsored across the nation, to make sure that they come and stand as councillors, as MPs, as the council chairpersons, and then as the presidents. So this is the critical time.
You've talked about the role of the different stakeholders, and so from where we stand now, are you confident, are you satisfied that the various stakeholders are putting in as much effort as they could to ensure peace is maintained, coexistence is maintained in this emerging democracy?
As at now, I think it's very disturbing to look at where we are, especially that we still have a lot of suspicions. If you look at the voter registration, the way it is happening, you find other people. There was just another item where you find that there are these unscrupulous people who would want to hijack the process. they would want to bring in the element of criminality into it. And then others, through their political motives, they would want to make sure that a certain political party is favored. So this undermines democracy and good governance. So we need to make sure that as individuals we are not misled into going into such vices. So basically, it's incumbent upon us as women, is it as men, women, youths, and then as adults, to make sure that this process is simple and it's free of charge. So where we stand with such news items, it's very disturbing. And then the other thing is that we need to manage well our youths. Not only our youths, but also we need to manage ourselves as leaders, so that at the end of the day we manage this period. And as we manage this period, it will mean that we are managing the peace that we have been given. So basically, we have that special mantle for all of us to participate in this democracy, and it starts from the upper echelons of each political party, that they continue speaking good words, they continue speaking development as opposed to individualizing issues. So basically where we stand today, the period where we are, if we manage it very well, it will mean that we are protecting our peace. If we manage this period very well, it will mean that we are protecting ourselves from having such accusation of saying, no, the system is rigged. Look at where we are coming from. Those suspicions, and these suspicions, they are the one which culminate into violence itself. So basically, at the moment, the Electoral Commission, we can help it by participating through the same system. And this system, if you know now, it has gone digitalized. So basically, we need also to prepare the old women, those who are not exposed to the digital world, so that the interfacing can be closed. So basically, as we stand today, I think it's very disappointing, especially that people are aloof. They think election can only happen in a one-off environment or at one point, and that is in 2021. But as stakeholders, we want all the political parties.
It's a build-up process.
It's a build-up process, yes, okay. Exactly.
All right. So do you think the various stakeholders have what it takes? Do they have what it takes really to ensure credibility in elections by doing the right things, beginning now?
You know, the people of Zambia, one thing which I love about our people across the board is that we have people who are educated, and then who are very much enlightened, and then at the same time, they know that we are a peaceful nation, and whatever we have achieved so far, we cannot go to the West. Instead, we can even perfect our system. So I will talk about the change. The change, it has what it takes as at to date. These opposition leaders, they have been participating in this election for quite a long time now, for quite some time. So they have the best knowledge on which we can rely on, where it involves party, intra-party politics, is it inter-party politics and violence, and then also the one which comes on the nation part. So it's important that we also deliberately, we bring all the stakeholders, especially the top leaders and their secretary generals, that we learn to accept defeat when an election comes. Whether we suspected that it was rigged or not, we must accept the result of the elections from the
and let the bygones be bygones.
Bygones be bygones. If you look at the American system, it would have been worse if you had seen the Democrats, if they had insisted going on. And the other thing also which is important is that deliberately we can have that moral fiber of saying, if you have tried to stand 2 or 3 times, you give a chance to others to participate. So that way, our governance will emerge more democratic, and it will improve. Then we start talking about, can you see, Michael Sata tried 10 years, this one has tried for almost 14 years to 15 years. But I love the American system, where you just have one attempt, you leave others to come and try. I think the one attempt system is much better, even in the United States of America. You know where the Parrot, who used to study against, is it the Republican and the Democrat, almost from 1984 somewhere there. He used to until 2000, but they never stopped him. But what is important, if you have seen on the other side, on the Democrat and the Republicans, because these are traditional parties, they have had that one attempt, you leave another one to come and attempt. That way, we will reduce the pressure. We reduce the pressure of having just one person being a leader forever. So our democracy, I'm looking forward to that time when we can have one attempt, you let another person to come and attempt, so that at the end of the day, we do not have, it comes with it the building of pressure, and this creates that tribalism and then also regionalism. Eventually, you'll find that it will be divided on those lines. So basically, if you have one attempt, this one comes on, you'll find that every Zambian will participate, and regardless of where it's coming from, others will come on board. And you can even have a Mandela who is coming from a very small tribe like the Kota, but coming up on a national level. So basically, I think that's where we need also to look at our democracy on an individual level. And where people promises that they are not going to stand, they must stand by those words. So basically, I think where we stand today, as you have asked me, we need a lot to mend, a lot of potholes to mend, so that we may perfect our democracy.
We see a lot of people, we've been seeing it since 2016, as far as I can remember. A lot of people who are aspiring for different positions, either member of parliament or councillor, you know, for a constituency, a ward somewhere, and they've made their intentions known, you know, for a long time.
Yes.
And they've been talking to people, they've been campaigning and stuff like that. Does this group of people equally have a role to play, and just how can they, because they are in touch with the people most of the time, do they have a role to play?
They have a special role to play, in the sense that those who are already active into this politics, we encourage them that we move according to what the Constitution demands. First, it gives the first priority to leaders who are emerging from political parties, and then secondly, we have those people who stand as independents. So if you look from the constitutional point of view, they are allowed, and they have to be encouraged to participate, because they bring in the independence also when it comes to check and balances in parliament. And it doesn't matter how long somebody has been attempting on that level, but on the national level, that's another thing we can look at. But what is important is that even those who have been MPs, I think when you come to MP level, the more somebody amasses the years, the better. The more they get to know every corner of the Constitution itself and how to enact laws. And we can have a good example, is that one of the United States of America, where you find that Donald Trump was a sponsor for a long time and was with the people for a long time, but he had to wait until